your eyes pop.
Yeah.
Do you know what else has popped off in Counter-Strike? A patch. We have a different crosshair. We should probably talk about this. Is there anything else? You guys scroll through the patch notes, Yanko? What stood out to you?
The dualies are 400 now instead of 500, so you can drop 2 pairs of dualies in the pistol round and go ham.
That's actually quite an interesting discussion.
It's not going to be very viable.
Why not? I mean,
if
it's
it was
two
good,
raid bosses.
People would use it if it was like very good. I think it's only good in certain situations, like close range, right? And we only see like Getrite use it. I don't know if I've ever
Stanislaw.
seen.
Magisk used to buy them.
Stanislaw used it in New York.
So now the difference is you can just buy a kit on the CT side, for example, instead of a smoke or a
Henry made a good point on Twitter this morning. I don't know if you would have seen it.
In 280 characters.
Yes, he did. He said that now you can buy the dualies and 2 flashes, so you could use it up close and personal and get some good underarm pop flashes off and take just spam those 30 bullets and hope you get some kills.
Yeah.
But I agree with Yanko. I think, if it was good, people would use it. Like the CZ, you only get $100 for with a kill. People use that. So.
Yeah. I mean, maybe we'll see a bit more experimentation. Sometimes you see patches where nothing really changes and still something evolves.
Actually, I want to retort here. You know, I think when a change happens, people just start using something a bit more, and then they figure out stuff. Like no one was using the CZ until the Tech 9 was nerfed. CZ hasn't been changed for a very long time, and now people are like, ooh, the CZ is
so
OP. So actually that small like buff, or whatever you want to call it, might cause team... Actually, I don't know if I bought the pistol twice in my life, the dualies, but maybe they're just strong and no one's just using them.
Well, they had that with the UMP for ages, right? Like nobody even used it and they never got changed. So it's the same with the Tech 9 that had a long time before that with the 32 bullets even got looked at. So
yeah, I do remember. I remember like before the SMG meta, we had people who were like, there was a couple of players who were like, dude, I actually think the SMGs are strong.
Did you see?
Well, you were running around with a Mac 10. You were.
I was ahead of
your
the
time. You were.
There was what I know we're harping on this a little bit too long, but there was another little thing that Sloth Squadron put on Reddit where the FAMAS and the Galil got changed accidentally.
Yeah,
so head over to Reddit
stuff, but they repaired that.
Oh, they
in
did?
this patch. I think
so panic over. But not too much to write home about. You have got a new crosshair, which we'll be talking more about if we have to fill. Anyway, this is of course North America. These are your standings. It is of course across North America and Europe, 14 teams within the North American region. You can see how a little bit of chopping and changing. CLG are going to be our main port of call, albeit briefly, as they picked up a win versus none other than SK, a 2-0 last night. Very hard for us to comprehend. A convincing one at that, Chad.
It's because Ricky knows karate.
Oh, yeah? You got some inside insight?
Yeah, Ricky knows karate. No, it just looked like a game. I was watching a bit of the post-analysis about it, and they were just saying it just seemed like SK weren't on.
Yeah.
So I didn't actually watch the whole game, and I think I'll take Nothing's word for it, because he's a little guest over there in North America at the moment.
Dude, yeah.
It wasn't 2-0, it was 1-1.
Was it 1-1?
Yeah.
Oh, that's just
They
bad.
lost cash 16 to 3 or 4. I mean, that's upset.
I saw the
itself.
CLG result was like 16, but not even 10 digits for SK, though. That was the upset, right? The first map.
Yeah, they won cash, but they lost on the second map.
Right. Okay, it was a blowout, at least for CLG on the first. Do excuse me, slight error, as we do get our tracks rolling into Europe as well for the ESL Pro League. You can check it out. Here are your standings for where we're going to be digging our teeth into. Now, previously, you've had Fnatic on top. They were facing up against Heroic yesterday. Maybe we'll be able to see if I do a magical clap. We don't know. Oh, no, we don't get to see it. I guess the reasoning behind that is because they wanted to do a quick cross comparison of you guys.
Okay,
wow.
So, Alex, you weren't here. You missed the start
I was
of the
never
season.
a part of this.
You missed the start of the season. Yanko and I did some predictions on how we thought that the season would pan out and where we would end up. Now, with these at the moment, we're in the middle of the season. We're probably about halfway through. We're looking like we're not too far off with that North call. We both had them towards the top of the tables. NaVi is where we both kind of made a big blunder there.
And underestimated Fnatic, obviously, and I also had EnVyUs, because of their string of good online results, the result in Valencia or Atlanta and so on. I thought they were going to be the surprise package, because in every season of Pro League, some of the favorites fail, and some underdog makes the cut. So
I mean, you guys had Fnatic outside your top 6, both of you.
Yeah. It was hard to know how that Golden Edition was going to really play out. Hellraisers and LDLC are also higher up than we both had them. Down the bottom, we didn't expect Mousesports or NaVi to be at that point. And G2 is another one. I think, there's still a lot of room for G2 to wiggle. We're going to see them later tonight. They're only at 4-3 and haven't played a lot of games, really.
I think here it's like the likes of Mousesports and NaVi and EnVy. They're like in a tough spot because they've played a significant amount of games, right, already. That's like 8, 10, 6 games. On the other side of things, yes, Fnatic has surprised us both, but I still don't believe they're going to end up being the #1 team. I think they're going to fall a little bit down, but
top 6
right now it looks like we'll see them at the playoffs, 9-1.
I still want to see more from Fnatic. I haven't had a chance to follow too much of their new games with Golden, but I'm only hearing, well, good things. Future is bright perhaps for Fnatic after the loss of well, previously known as the world's best player. However, he certainly has found greener pastures in FaZe. I'm not going to be seeing them play today. This is your schedule for the Battle Arena. You get to see Fnatic on the secondary stream. They'll be taking on Mouse to start things off. Cash and Nuke the maps. And after that, you get to see Godsent and North. But on our stream here, live from Copenhagen, we have NaVi and EnVy. And following that, you get to see G2 versus NIP in our hot match of the week. Chad, how hot is G2 NIP?
I think, G2 is only amplified by the fact that they won over in Malmo, right? And we haven't actually seen them play since Malmo, if I'm correct in that. So they've had a bit of time off. Was that after Malmo? Yeah, okay. So it's still been some time. I think it was like a week after, right? So they still had some time off from officials, so it's going to be exciting to see if they can continue that kind of form. Because the caveat that we kind of give with these guys is they're really talented. It's just, is it consistent? And that's something which I think, they obviously want to prove and they want to change because that's there. And they probably the only team right now, I think, that could challenge FaZe if FaZe are as hot as what they are.
True, but if they can have that good performance, right? Because as you mentioned, G2 can be very inconsistent. This is like a matchup where you want to look back and say, reminds you a bit of NIP versus Very Games from back in the day, right? Some of the guys are still there, Get Right, Forest exists. On the other side, you have MBK, and I mean, Shocks every now and then can, a little bit. But yeah, I think NIP, obviously their loss at E-League, they didn't manage to make the playoffs there. Also, just now they got crushed by FaZe in the qualifier for Epicenter, I believe it was. So I don't know if that's just a sign of their form currently, or did they prepare more for this game in Pro League versus G2 in contrast to FaZe?
I mean, we're talking about E-League, and actually a result there has raised eyebrows for the French team EnVy, who are going to be taking on none other than NaVi in our first game. A 16-2 loss to Cloud9. They got absolutely blown out of the server, and following that, EnVy's results have not been fantastic, perhaps explaining why Betway have given them NaVi the edge in this best of two. In fact, I'm looking over it now. They did pick up they lost 16-2 over at E-League. They also lost to LDLC across two maps, admittedly one of them in a kind of double, if not triple overtime. So they've been playing, they've been getting rounds, but unfortunately, EnVy have looked a little lost as of late.
It's not even just that. I mean, they did beat NIP in a best of three and beating them on Cash and Nuke, which are probably NIP's two best maps. But you look at all the good performances of EnVyUs recently, and it's been RPK going off, right? He's had amazing games, and obviously it's always a team effort. But when you have a player step up significantly, it makes it easier for the rest of the team as well.
And actually, Chad, you were over in New York, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
You got to see them play versus NaVi. We had this bout over in New York, seeing a two-mapper.
They're on the B stream.
Okay.
So we didn't see them on the. We didn't see any of the B stream. Yeah, but I think the interesting factor in this is the first map that we have here, because last night we mentioned with NaVi that Train is probably the only map which they feel confident on, and they've got this up against EnVy first up. Now, last night we did see EnVy with a stand-in. Hadji from the academy team of EnVy, he was playing for them. So the losses last night don't hurt as much when you are using a stand-in in that regard. But I think coming up against the NaVi, who also looked really lackluster, I don't know if those Betway odds are bang on, because I think this is a closer matchup than we're going to expect.
Okay. I mean, we saw NaVi yesterday, Yenko. We saw the form that they were in.
True, and they were very, unimpressive.
In the bin?
In the bin. I don't know if that's a bit of jet lag, because after New York, they went to the West Coast, some sponsorship obligations and so forth. But EnVyUs on the other side, you can see that by the fact that they're playing the same maps, that tells, EnVyUs, despite losing, they're still okay, these are our maps. We have nowhere else to go pretty much. And maybe just gives you a sign of confidence as well. Yeah, we lost in New York, but we feel like there was only a couple of small mistakes that we need to work out, and that we will be able to take down NaVi here.
Maybe a light at the end of the tunnel for NaVi's performance yesterday was that Simple was actually playing well. I mean, we always talk about what he's capable of, and you can see some of the clutches he was bringing forth into the fray. Rifle or AWP, it doesn't matter. Simple was bringing the pain to Hellraisers, and unfortunately couldn't translate into a victory, but we saw him lining them up, handing out free haircuts to the Razors of Hell.
Yeah, he's the only real consistent factor for NaVi at the moment until they really find their feet and they get used to this Zeus in-game leadership style again. I think it's going to take time. That's the one thing that we're putting out there after this player break. I know it's already been, a month? It's been about a month now, right? But I think this NaVi change was one of the last-minute changes. It happened right towards the end of that player break. Nobody knew if it was happening. Gambit didn't know. NaVi definitely didn't know. It all kind of happened. And it's not the same NaVi that we once had, right? It's a different roster.
And it's been a month, but not a month where they just could chill and practice, right? It's been one tournament after another. So they will definitely benefit from now things being a bit calmer and them having time to, you know, just sit down and iron things out.
And this is when the Pro League is perfect. I mean, you may not necessarily be getting top 6. Their standings currently don't indicate that, but you get regular, at home, you know, scheduled practice that is, you know, there's a huge amount of money on the line, so you know it's going to be taken seriously as well.
I mean, you also had last season the champions of Pro League, G2, they started off 0-6, if I'm not mistaken.
True.
So a bad start doesn't have to be the end of the world. They were a similar team in a sense. They recently formed, you know, those were like growing pains. And then once they figured their game out, it was not a problem for them to actually, you know, secure a playoff berth.
And yeah, on the flip side of that, NaVi actually started well. I think they were like
2-0?
No, I think they were like last season. I think they
sorry.
were like 8-2 or something like that, and then, you know, they kind of crumbled. So I think, you know, this is only a 7-week season, so it seems like we're already quite a ways into it, but we still have 2 super weeks coming, right? So we have like a 6-day and a 5-day week where a lot of matches are going to be played in that time. There's a big chance for any of these teams to turn it around.
FaZe hasn't played a game since week 1, so, you know, there's a lot of things that can change over the course of a few weeks.
Yeah. So when do we get like a kind of good understanding? Were you thinking like the end of our next Super Week? Next week, do you think we're going to have a bit of a better read?
I mean, after the next Super Week, there's a week after it, there's like 3 days. I think after that, when we only have 1 Super Week left, like 5 days of play, I think at that point, all of the teams would have played a significant amount of games. We would see which teams have which amount of losses, because it's usually that, right? Once a team gets to like 10 losses with these many teams in the league, you feel like that's kind of the brink. So if I see a team that's, you know, 3-6, it's still better for me than when I see a team that's, you know, 9-8 or 10-8. That gives me more hope.
So here's a fun one. I have heard whispers, and of course whispers are exclusively just Reddit, basically. Whispers that NV maybe making a roster change. There was, you know,
that was already denied. I mean,
has it been denied officially?
Not officially, but I mean, there's that French guy. He's Nel on Twitter, and usually he's like one of the insider guys who has all that info. And he said that they're not making a change. But now that you mentioned EnVyUs, I would like to reference Happy's interview. I'm not sure with who I think it was with Slingshot or something along those lines after New York. Or before New York even, where he was talking about their issues as a team and why they've been so inconsistent after managing to qualify for multiple tournaments and have even some good LAN showing. It's because, you know, he said something along the lines of, we all know the problems, we point them out in like practice, we watch the games together and we can see the issues and point them out, but we still can't fix those mistakes. Like we come back to practice tomorrow or to an official or to the next tournament and the problems still keep happening. And the team thinks that it's like a little bit due to calling, like they're a bit too rigid now, they want to play a bit more loose. And to me that says, it's just that the players are not focused enough on, you know, repairing those mistakes basically and being concentrated, and now they just want to have more fun but being able to run around a bit more. When I actually thought that the way EnVyUs was playing as a team and how Happy changed his play style a little bit, being more aggressive, sometimes going in first, just in his lurking even being a bit more aggressive, I thought that they looked great. So I really hope that, you know, they will manage to work on the issues that are obvious. Even before, when EnVyUs was much worse, you could see like what they wanted to achieve, and it was the individual mistakes that were holding them back.
I think something else to note was in that interview, he said something about players forgetting strategies.
I did see that.
You hate to see that.
That's so like when I played and I had Top Gun in my team. God, I love Top Gun, okay. But when you start the round with, I call the strategy, you know, it's like we're going to do the 3-1 split or something. You know, just a nice basic name. We've dry run the strat 100 times. Chad, what do I do on that strat again? And it's like, I have 15 seconds, and I love you, Azad, so I'm going to explain the strategy to you. But in this time, I could probably be micromanaging other parts of the map.
Or, you know, maybe focusing on your own buy, something like that.
It's really good to focus on your crosshair. I didn't get to do that a lot in my career.
It's not even that about the play. It's actually like you need to think about what an in-game leader has to do coming into the round, okay, without the coach being able to speak. So he has to think about what happened in the previous round. We win a round, okay, how many people did we lose? What's the economy like for us? What's the economy like for them? How did we win a round? How did we lose a round? Do they have enough money for an op? And you process all of these things, and you like, you know, like that meme where there's all the numbers popping up. That's the in-game leader in freeze time. And then he calls a strat, and it's like, this is the money strat. And then someone says something like, I didn't buy a smoke, or I forgot how to throw this smoke, or what do I do in this strategy? And then you're like, you have to think on the fly. Maybe you wanted to call something fast. Maybe the CTs are trying to go for an aggressive play, and while you're thinking about what else to call, your player gets picked off, and the round falls apart. And that may be the crucial round, the reset round at 12-12, and you lose the game. It's as simple as that. It can happen because of a minor stuff like that, and you would be surprised how many the best teams in the world have this problem. It's amazing. I thought just like Chad, it's, you know, us, the scrubs, you know, we like can't remember a strat, or we can't do this, we can't do that. It happens a lot.
Yeah. I mean, you say simple as that. It's not so simple for Simple. He's actually got some PC issues, so we have more time to explore this one. I think it's really funny. All it does is remind me of that Sean Gares video where the calmest human being on earth actually gets mad. Like,
it's Ricks or something, right?
Yeah.
He's like, just do it, Ronnie. Just do it. And it's like, okay.
You don't have a smoke?
The thing is, when you do that, right, you dry run the strategy. You do it like at least 5 times, right? And you just make them do it time and time again. And hopefully nowadays you have the coach watching, and the coach is like, no, you did it wrong, do it again. And it's like smashing your head against a brick wall sometimes. And it should be one of the easiest things, because all you want to do, this is why I think boot camps or team, I hate the idea of a team house, but a boot camp and a team house is the best. Because if you're sitting there and I see you open up Facebook, I am going in on you. No, I had teammates, Alex. I swear to God, we're sitting in, we're in the hotel room. This is in Vegas, right? This is when we're paid professionals living in an environment
being
to practice.
paid to play video games.
We're in the middle of a scrim, right? They're pressing the in-game browser thing, and they're opening up. What are they doing? Why? Why did they hate me? They actually wanted me to go insane. And I did, and now I'm here.
Yes. But we welcome you to the dark side of esports. That's where we reside, in this dark and dingy dungeon. Ooh, that was nice. I like that. Bit of alliteration.
We're channeling Hank from Face It right now, or ESCA Pugs or something.
Not when he's streaming, though.
No, he's much nicer when he's streaming.
No, but this is good. I like... My watch just straight up fell off.
That's how your watch is mad.
Yeah,
we're getting really angry.
It is. But you know, this is actually really, really interesting stuff for people at home, and for myself as well, because, you know, if you don't compete professionally, you're not going to get to understand that this happens at the highest level. Like Yanko, you can attest. You speak to players. You know, you have conversations I don't understand with Nico and Bars when we're hanging out, and I'm sure some of that is like you wouldn't believe some of the things that are happening in the server.
Yeah, some of the. I mean, it's in every team, you know, not to name any names, but even from the teams that you think are the most regimented, the most structured, you know, some of the things you hear and you're like, how do they even manage to, you know, win with those things happen? So a lot of things happen on the fly. I mean, we gave you one example of a one strat. You know, teams have to play 6 maps. Tier 1 teams, you have to have 6 maps in the pool. You have to have so many strategies, you know, so many setups and so on. I mean, it's your job as a professional player at this point to know your smokes, know the strategies. And I think what Chad gave as an example, I think it happens as much because everything has evolved, everything's become more professional in that sense. But, you know, still there are blunders happening every now and again.
You did just remind me that I casted a Gfinity. I casted some UK Counter-Strike, and a player genuinely forgot to buy armor 3 times in a best of 1. 3 times he forgot to buy Kevlar. Like, but this is things. These are things that happen.
Talk about Nico. I remember when we were playing, like back in 2013. You know, the ESL, EMS Raid Call Cup, stuff like that. And we play overtimes. First round, he doesn't buy a kit, and it was like MR3, you know, 16K or something along those lines. And we play train, and he doesn't have time because he didn't have a kit, you know. So he also has evolved over time. But I mean, on the other side of things, that's why some of these players are so amazing. That's like every now and then I point out Fallen and I say, I have no idea how this guy does it, because he is, at the same time, one of the best in-game leaders in the world, one of the best oppers in the world, you know, doesn't have a coach at this point in time, so he does all the thinking in-game by, obviously, you know, teammates help, mostly Coldzera with some ideas and helps with preparation and so forth, but the amount of work you need to put in and still you're able to focus on your own game and be, you know, impactful, for me that's just mind-blowing.
It does make me want to learn Portuguese, just to have, like, you know, sit behind them for a day.
That and a number of other things.
And lots of other things. But, like, you know, be able to understand how much he's actually saying. Like, how much are you communicating in a round when you're holding a tight line on, you know, CT?
I think the best thing that Fallen has done for that squad, or at least maybe, I'm going to say Brazilian Counter-Strike, but maybe not since the whole Immortals thing happened. So maybe just Bolt and Steel.
Let's go with that.
Inspired the people,
they did play with it,
the players, to have a really good work ethic, right? In the sense of they do things for themselves. Because talking to Taco, talking to those kind of guys, you know, Taco does it all. He's that kind of player which will do whatever you need him to do. But everybody on that SK unit, if you're going to do a set execute and say somebody dies, like they get picked off early and you only need 4 smokes, you still have 4 players alive, everybody knows how to fill in those gaps and do those smokes. Like, everybody should know depending on the execute, like at least 3 to 5 main smokes on a map. Whereas when I was playing 2015, it was the guys knew their smoke for their execute, for like where I told them to go. But if they died, then we just had a massive gap. I knew every smoke, obviously, because I had to come up with them all. Yeah. When you don't have teammates who are innovating the way that they play and geeking it out, right, and going into the server and learning all these new smokes, it gets a little bit harder. I think when you have players that you can inspire to have a good work ethic and they happily evolve the game for you as an in-game leader, it makes your life so much easier.
I think just the approach they have to the game, right? I mean, they really treat it as a job in a sense. Not that they don't enjoy doing it, but, you know, their practice is really committed to becoming better. Especially in North America, you only have so many people to play against. You know, you can't play Liquid every single day or Cloud9. It just loses its point, right? Once you play a map against them 3 times, you know every single thing they're doing, and vice versa, and it loses its purpose. So even when they're playing lower tier teams, they're playing to improve. Sure, you have players with different approach, you know. For example, someone who stated publicly that he doesn't really like playing the game outside of scrims and official games, but that's when it actually comes to that, he's super dedicated, super focused, and you can see on the server that he still does his part. So you can't expect everyone to be like, for example, Fallen or like Chad said that he is, that's going to learn everything on the map. That's very difficult to find with a team and have the right personalities as well, so you can play together.
What do you make of the grind debate? You know, Chad, that people have to grind. There is a, you know, you're not committed if you're not DMing every morning before a tournament. I mean, do we just end the conversation with personal preference, or is there more to it?
I think, you know, you can definitely say personal preference, but I think what Astralis are trying to achieve is what everybody should be striving for. Okay. Having that regiment, having a plan, having you do the same thing every day. So when you go into the server for officials, you always have that mindset, right? And that's definitely something that you're going to need going forward as the game becomes more professional. And if you're really good at doing the defaults, like a team like Astralis is, you're really good at the fundamentals, then from there you can build on that. You can be a bit more of a brawler. But in terms of like DM to get your aim to a certain level, I think you reach a certain point, right? You're going to reach a certain point where if you do an hour every day, that's enough. You know, if you're doing like 6 hours, it's probably too much. And you're playing, what, you should be playing close to 40 hours a week, right? It's a full-time job.
I mean, sorry, the game is actually ready, so we can chill this conversation.
Cool.
We'll come back to it. But we'll go ahead and head over to people that I know are no strangers to DM. Sadikist actually playing 30 hours of DM this week alone. It is him and Henry G.
How do you fit that in?
He meant Twitter DMs. That's how many girls I messaged.
Slide it in.
I got 0 responses.
That's pretty good for you.
Is it?
Yeah.
I didn't get blocked by anyone, so
yeah, exactly, right. So it didn't go horribly.
Yeah.
Here we go then. EnVyUs versus NaVi. From what we saw from NaVi yesterday, I'm not too excited about it, you know?
No, I'm not either. I think this is 2 teams that are in, what did Chad call it? Struggle City?
Yeah, that would be something.
Terror Town?
Struggle Street, maybe? I'm not sure. Something that works. But, yeah, NaVi...
Very awful village.
Yeah, they just looked like they were very disjointed. And it's not a team that's inspiring me that Zeus is the key to fix all their problems right now. I think they need another lineup shuffle, if I'm honest. But I'm willing to give them a second chance today.
You've always been an honest man. I will give you that, Hank.
It is. That's one of my specialties. We're getting live, it looks like. It will be the T-side start for NaVi. 4 sets of armor. Zeus with the smoke and a couple of flashbangs. Cheeky decoy there as well. And in terms of the CT buy, 5 sets of armor, of course, and a couple of decoys as well. We'll have a look at Zeus, what he's up to. They go towards inside for now, sending actually 4 players towards that area, towards the upper halls, and he's going to be happy to challenge him at the upper ramp. He's coming in quite quickly. Can he get anything done here? He actually has to fall back, and the smoke comes in towards the connector, flashbangs as well, and it's up to RPK and happy to defend.
RPK sits back, looks for a chance to try and find them on entry. Can't do it. Simple.
Hello.
Speaking of chances, finds 2. First one's a body shot, second one's a headshot. Down goes Happy as RPK fell first. Simple gets forward. Immediately, he'll try and hold off the rotations.
Woohoo! All right,
Simple again with 4 kills. He's looking for an ace early on. He's got low HP, 14 to do so. Trying to find a chance headshot, baiting out the ladder that he's climbed up. His teammates bait him in, and 5 kills to start off the game for Simple.
I will say, with him yesterday, he was one of the players that was very impressive. So that's not too bad at all from Simple. I like that a lot. Goes towards inside, hits every single headshot. 10 HP on the last one. He might as well go for it. The round was guaranteed at that point either way. So he was absolutely fine. So very well done. Pretty basic approach from NaVi towards inside. Smoke towards connector. The flashbang goes in. Stick together, hit the shots, and Simple does so in bucket loads. It's going to be the 4 spy from EnVyUs here. Sixer, of course, the AWP doesn't get the armor, but sees it across the board and seized with an audacious approach to the kill there. Can be very dangerous to go for that sort of play, but RPK pushes in and he could actually cause a lot of damage here. Guaranteed kill almost on Zeus. Doesn't quite spot him, but there it is. Flamey to defend. Gets one, but Scream takes him down.
Edward waits below the ladder. Sixer tagged at 2 HP, but somehow still alive and it's seized. Just hold off the angle as Zeus goes for the plant. Sixer's going to rotate around as well with CZ75 in hand. Happy could capitalize on the fact that Simple's gone low and does. Strikes perfectly. Sixer still on the 2. He's going to try and work it in. Hagil's going to be immediately over top of the bomb train. Edward, meanwhile, holds up ladder. Doesn't need to peek. He can play off the information that Seized is giving him. He's so low on HP. He can't really afford to peek. And when he does, gets greeted and taken down for it. Flash high. Seized needs to go aggressive. Dodges out via his own flash, but goes down immediately. Unfortunately, no kits. And EnVy will succumb to the round by time.
They do save 2 rifles, though. Just about okay. Sixer does go down to the bomb blast, and he had 2 HP, so can't save the AK-47. So decent damage inflicted, but overall, only 1 Galil saved. And we'll get into the next round here. 2-0. NaVi will be able to buy with the AKs here. They're absolutely fine. They have about 4K per player.
Remember, Hagil standing in for XMS tonight.
Indeed.
Which is an interesting thought.
Where's he from? I'm not familiar.
I don't know him as well either. I just saw the post saying that he was going to be standing in. Let's go look him up.
He could be from EnVyUs Academy, potentially.
It's possible, yep. Hagil. He does have an EnVyUs jersey on, so I think you are right. He's on EnVyUs Academy.
They've got some sick players, actually. Oh, I do know him. I recognize him from, yeah, he came to Gfinity, and I casted him, and he was actually really friendly to me. So I forgot his in-game name. He's a nice guy. Either way, a couple of frags coming through. Simple does take down RPK. And Sixer and Scream fighting back. This was a round I didn't have any sort of footing in, but 2-on-2 now. Scream with an AK-47. We know what kind of damage he can inflict with a weapon like that. He's actually all the way in towards T-spawn, and a chance now for Flame to take him down. There it is, low HP. Scream can do nothing with that one. And it should be the round going in favor of NaVi now. Happy, though, still in quite an advantageous position. There's the kill, but refrag comes in. Nice work from Flamey. So not the cleanest 3-0, but they get it on the board. We know NaVi have been struggling. Just to note as well, EnVyUs, they've got a bit of a genius situation there, if you think about it. They've got their own academy team, which is doing well in the lesser tournaments and kind of building up talent. And then, as soon as this squad becomes, I don't know, like stagnant, or they're missing a certain player,
got people to go to.
They've got a French team beneath them. They're actually very skilled and now getting better and better.
Well, it's a lot of teams have academy teams. We know that. Even Rogue, I think, has an academy team. You've got Fnatic Academy. It's not always that the teams have utilized their academy team because they're not either ready or they're just simply trying
we've got
to get
Fnatic now with Golden.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Yeah. Fnatic's the best example of a team finally utilizing it, but at the same time, they for a while didn't take advantage of it. They made trades with Godsent rather than going toward their academy team. So I think it takes some time for them to develop into their own right.
But we are removing them, right? I think generally that was the whole thing. They had 18 months to get rid of your academy team. So it's still fine for now.
No, I think the rule states you have 18 months to get rid of academy teams if they're in the same league.
Right. Okay.
So you can keep them so long as they don't have a spot in the same league.
Okay. Well, that makes sense.
Which, yeah, that does make sense. I think that's actually the right way to do it, if I'm an honest man. Hank, I'm not as honest as you are sometimes.
Well, for this round, you can see NaVi, even with 3-0, winning all the rounds, still struggling tremendously. Seas with just a CZ here as we enter the first gun round, what it should be. NaVi pretty much losing all their players in the last 2. Zeus down to the Galil as well. Very little in terms of utility. No simple AWP. Now we'll head towards the inside bomb site here. 3 players right now with a bomb. Happy and RPK to defend as usual. Perfect smoke deployed there by the EnVyUs side. Right on the lower ramp, and it's really frustrating. NaVi know they have to push this at this point. They can't allow that to go down and have about 10 seconds to go into the bomb site. So we'll see what they decide to do. They do commit after this one. There's going to have to be some very quick frags coming in here. There's going to have to be a real clean sweep. 15 seconds remain now. Final commitment, and Happy ready to defend, but it's going to be simple to open things up.
Oh, wow. Flamey immediately walks in. Happy's got no idea. I'd heard Edward go forward inside of the site and therefore put his attention where it shouldn't be. Shouldn't have been, I should say. Jill finds a kill on Simple. Shuts down a man who had a great start to the game. Ooh, shot from Sixer. Doesn't quite do it. Clips the edge of the wall, I think, in front of him. Either way, it's Edward that's going to advance. 16 HP. Gets found in the smoke by Hagil, who finds yet another kill in the round. So a good start for the man. I'm not mistaken as well, he actually leads all fraggers, although only with 4, and he'll go down to the hands of Zeus. We are early yet to read into statistics such as that, but good start nonetheless. Standing in for the senior team, is that what we call it? The main team.
The main team, yeah.
Well, Sixers found the round to go to NaVi. It'll start off 4-0. Scream at least gets one more on the exit to make it costly, but has to back away. He may not even get away. In fact, goes into an exchange. Seas will go to the bomb. Scream stays alive. He's the last of which to do so. However, round gone, 4-0 for NaVi.
Well, there it is. This is going to be a struggle for EnVyUs. I would suspect that there is something behind this. Hadji coming into the team, and they're maybe just trialing this idea and seeing what they can do. Maybe not. Maybe it's just a case of someone not being able to make it tonight, XMS, of course. But EnVyUs are going to struggle on a map like Train. NaVi there, very slow approach, of course, with Zeus at the helm of the tactics. They go towards inside. Have to push through that smoke about the 10-second mark, but they got the frags required, and they go into round number 5. There will be another inside approach from the CT side. 3 at the lower ramp, I believe, as well. Edward, flames in front of him. There's the spray down. The scream that saved M4. A couple of frags coming in, and now EnVyUs have a chance to actually pick this round up. Inside stack working out for now, and it's up to Zeus trying to recover the situation. This looks like it could fall apart for the NaVi side. It's up to the in-game leader to try and recover it. I would say that's maybe the wrong decision by yourself, considering the situation. You can see a CT making his way towards T-spawn as well. Happy, of course, CZ in hand. Nice positional control, but it looks like we might be heading towards the outside bomb side. Zeus and Simple make their way towards Pop Dog right now. Seas is already in towards the connector area. It's down to Happy, I think. He's going to be the thorn in their side, but not really in position to do much about that bomb plant.
Molotov lands, they'll have to push through.
Wow.
Sixer certainly will. His teammate doesn't have to anymore. Gets tagged low by the flames. Does Scream, but his teammate getting a kill and picking up a gun. Jumps in, though, unfortunately goes down immediately. Scream nearly gets underneath Simple's accuracy to cause damage when he shouldn't have. Simple will go down to Hadjil. And they'll get the bomb back in this situation. No kit, but lots of time. I say lots of time. Yeah, I think there is. Ooh.
I think he had that. It would have been real close. I don't think
that was 6 seconds.
He died anyway. Like,
he might as well stayed on it. That's a misplay. Unfortunately, that is a misplay, Hedgel, because he drops an AK as a result. I had 6 seconds when he got off it. I counted to at least 5 while he was running away. Now, I'm not the most accurate to the second counter.
I would say,
but that was close.
For me, as a player, and that sort of round, you're 4-0 down, I think you just definitely hold it. Like he probably knows, but like he might have the sound cue or something like that.
Someone like Rushley, who's Mr. Genius, you know, Rushley is a very he's smarter than he looks. Let's put it that way.
To me,
thank God. But he could look it up because it might have been 6 seconds there.
Yeah, to me it sounded good, but he might have got the sound cue that it was a no-go, and he tried to fall back, and that can be a thing. But either way,
it's true. If he has the sound cue on, then there's no disputing it. From my perspective, if he doesn't, or if he didn't know, I would have held that.
4-4. Things are getting much better here for EnVyUs. That frag. Oh, goodness, Hadji, you had to make that one, my friend. Simple can't believe his luck that he's got away with that. It goes down to 12 HP. That had to be a kill there, man.
You are saying Hadji. I don't know why I'm inserting an L into his name.
I don't know why you do that either.
No, it's fine. I can't read. He's still looking sharp, but that was a bit of a blunder. Sixer does get a kill back in reverse against Seas. RPK, meanwhile, gets ready to watch the top green. Green, yellow, take your pick. Depends on the saturation of your monitor. Zeus will sit back. Oh, he's so close to seeing Sixer. If he'd had a held the angle, he probably would have spotted his feet, but moving across, he could not see him. He'll go back instead with the AK and look for the entry point. One on entry versus 2 on defense. It's a 3-on-2 now, 3 versus 1. They've got a pinched off. Sixer kills Zeus at the very least, but Edward there to trade back. Grabs out an M4 instead of the Galil, and they go 6-0 up. A rather uneventful start in terms of NaVi versus Envy.
Yeah. It's difficult to gauge too much on this map because obviously, you know, NaVi's on a great form right now. Up against Envy, we have no idea what the Hadji situation is. Have they been practicing with him? Is this something that they had to bring in out of necessity? Someone can turn up. So, yeah, NaVi are looking okay. Haven't been the cleanest of rounds, but 6-0, can't argue with that. And it will be 6 and out. Oh, a force buy of sorts. We have got 2 CZs out. Happy on the AWP. Not going to be giving that to Sixer right now. Six having a rough game. He's on 6 for 5. Happy 3 kills, and Happy will be AWPing for now at least. He heads towards main entrance, takes down Siege. So far so good. They've got the opening frag and no refrag coming from NaVi, so something to work with here. 6A explores towards Ivy. No one waiting on the other side. So this should be an MV round. So a lot of work to do here, but no kits once again. They really haven't had a decent buy here yet.
Stationary. I haven't had a decent buy, but they do have the man advantage that's on the back of an AWP, as we know on Train. An AWP can do quite a bit. Haji, you know, I think it's because Adil is on his team.
I thought the same thing. When I first saw that, I didn't realize we had him on. I thought, was that just a deal?
Oh, yeah, Scream. Yeah. No, I think that's what my brain was doing, but it's Haji. Who's going to go aggressive again. Does spot out. Play on the other side of it, but good flashbang timed against him. He stepped in flames. He doesn't know. He's so blind that he sat and died. Remember, there is a ringing in the ear of the player who's flashed up as well, which we don't get. He wouldn't have heard the ticks against him. Edward will at least pull back again to allow NaVi to go into what is now a 3 versus 1 against the AWP. The man who started off the round quite well with an AWP, with 2 kills, but needs all 5. Does find a third quite quickly against Zeus inside of the smoke. Still a chance at this as well.
Happy at one point with the secondary open next to Kenny S, but 3 kills, not enough to win the round. This is looking very disappointing for EnVyUs. Opening frags there. 6 are pushing all the way around T-spawn. Had a decent information on the situation, but then got taken out by Simple, and it seemed like that was the floodgates over. We need a cool name for this. When you get completely wrecked by flashbangs, like it's like a combo, and they make you sit in the flames as well. But that needs a cool name.
It's like the lightning strike.
That's okay, yeah.
It's okay. It's not amazing. It can be worked on.
Yeah, like there's something like that when they have a set piece. It's got flashbangs. And
the Scarecrow. He's just kind of standing there, dumb as could be, getting lit on fire because he's a dried out hay inside of him.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah. Scarecrow, I like that more than lightning.
Oh, Rico, yeah, for Envy. This has not been the game I was hoping for so far. 5 on 4.
I think is this the hot match of the week?
No.
No, sorry, they talked the previous. Sorry, my mistake. I'm not the smartest of men. As Edward takes a kill back the other way into RPK.
Last 2 in T-spawn here. Flashbang comes through. Last-ditch attempts, but they do manage to blind one player. Happy should be able to pick up this kill, which he does. Edward goes down, but, okay, gets away with that one somehow on 14 HP. Surprised he survived, but his teammate goes down. He's got head armor and a CZ, low HP. Probably knows he's not surviving, but at the same time, no real reason to hunt him. He hasn't got a weapon. But it's sometimes a little bit too tempting. Knowing he's low, try and hunt him down. There it is, Zeus to get the final kill. 8-0. This could be a very quick game. As we said, if you are just joining us, Haji, top fragging, to be fair, will be standard. Simple just to note as well, 15 kills, 4 deaths while that's up there. Seized, 1 for 7, good as ever. He is in a real slump, it seems, right now. He's been, the last 5 times I casted him, he's like 1 for 9 at the very start of each game.
It's all your fault, Hank.
That's what they say.
You know what, the major that VP lost every game we casted them?
That's true, we were on Reddit for that, weren't we?
Yeah. Thanks to the guy who pointed it out. We are just a part of the simulation. It's not our fault. If I was in the simulation, I would be Rat Boy. The guy that has all those guns.
Okay.
The rat, what do they call him in the Matrix 1? And he's at the top of the staircase with the Gatling gun and the bunch of machine guns and just wrecks every one of them.
I know what you mean, but it's been a very long time.
Yeah, it's fine. That's me.
Simple. The player who's
Dead
got,
now,
15 kills. He does get taken down. 8-0 here. Another 5 on 4 advantage for EnVyUs. We'll see if they can manage to do anything with this one. Double orb setup this time. 6 and Happy. A decent buy. They've got the kit to work with here, but utility is very low. This still could be a difficult task. And RPK, perfect flank here. Spots the foot of Zeus and gets the frag as well. Nice work. Now this should be the guaranteed round here. Actually looking towards main entrance as well. They have to convert this to a victory with 5 players surviving as well. That would be idyllic. It would mean they can actually avoid some sort of a reset. But Flamey with the AWP, not known to be an AWP, but Seeds with 2 frags. Just like Call might find some form here, and the refrag from Edward as well, down to the 2-on-2. It's Seeds who's the hero of this round in a 5-on-3 situation. It starts to crumble once again for the French side. Happy and RPK to clutch this one out. It's round number 9. EnVyUs desperately needed this, and Happy with the AWP comes in, can't deny the plant. RPK brings it into a 2-on-1 situation. And a 2-on-0. That's fine.
Yeah, Happy's wrecking it. RPK stepping up as always. This time he's definitely got it. Just keep clicking until RPK goes and finds the gun desired. Double op setup will be brought out for Envy. And Henry the bomb has been defused.
We've got around on the board. That's not bad at all. We've got something to work with there. The problem is we needed that to be clean. It was 5-on-3. 2 players survive. They do get both AWPs, though, so that's okay, but lose this round, you're in a lot of trouble. The good news is that they have kept NaVi relatively modest, so all the rounds have been close. Sure, it's 8-0 or 8-1 now, but this is a full investment from NaVi. Their money hasn't swelled at all, so this half isn't over. EnVyUs can pick this one up. They're right back in this game. It might be in double eco for NaVi. The boost coming in here to, oh goodness, a bit messy, boys.
A bit messy indeed. Zeus is already inside, though.
This is what Chad was talking about. Like, these pro teams, like, that should be a regimented sort of boost coming in there. That should be clean and well-oiled. Get up there, find the boost, get the pick. They just look like a bit of a mess towards main entrance. But there you go. Frags exchanged. Sixer and Zeus duel it out, and it will be Sixer coming out on top. 4-on-4 now. Double orb setup working out. The problem is we've only got 2 smokes left, but it doesn't matter for C. He's starting to find some form now, and he gets another. Got a double frag, gets 1. That should have been a kill, but Happy does go down eventually, and it will be the return round by NaVi. Very well played. I like that. Decent approach, nice and fast this time instead of waiting up and go for the very slow execution style gameplay. And unfortunately, that is a reset for EnVyUs, down to about 2k per player. Ooh, and they get a force buy as well. Okay, RPK goes into $1,300, so they're not going all in from what I can see. Happy certainly has. He's had enough.
I've had enough, Hank.
This is a very difficult game for them.
This is rough. That is the worst time ever to be reset. Like you said, they did go for the double op setup to try and strengthen the situation.
He is called Mouse, I can confirm.
It is Mouse. Ah, that's what Tom Eric was saying. Mouse, that's right. I heard him say something in my ear. I didn't know what he was. I thought he was just talking sweet nothings to me.
Doesn't talk to me.
Doesn't like you. Not Canadian. Scream.
That's true.
Takes down C's. Flamey will find Happy in return, but watch the swing from Flamey. They've done damage with the pistols this time on the NV side, but damage not enough and insignificant in the context of the game when it's 9-1 especially.
He could win this, though.
All right. Henry says he can win it. Type 1 in the chat. Bet T all. CTL. Well, I bet TL, but you can bet CTL.
I'll bet CT 200.
Someone had a thread about that the other day. What if you could bet on clutches? I think there's a way that Twitch should put that in. Because Scream now has an AK, and we know what he can do. He's got 3 kills already. He's run out of ammo when he jumps up. It would have been 4th quite quickly if he'd had the ammunition to work with, but he does not. It goes 10-1 for NaVi.
Believe in there. The 4th kill comes in. You're in 1v1 with Scream. The panic sets in. Maybe that could have been the ace clutch. It wasn't meant to be. A decent attempt, I have to say. Just to have a look at the scoreboard as well. It's okay for EnVyUs. The frags are evenly distributed. There's not getting any rounds on the board. RPK at the bottom 5 and 10. He had a very slow start. Happy now at the top. Happy's gone a little bit quiet. And C's starting to get himself back in the game now. 5 and 10. Simple at the top, 17 and 6. And another eco, unfortunately. This could be the old 14-1.
The old 14-1. You say it like you know it, Hank. Been there a few times, have you?
Yes. I've got some good stories about some 14-1s. I've come back and won, actually, Matt. Some heroic tales.
Matt, as he says.
Yeah.
Well, it's good to know you've had your success at some point in time, Hank, because it's happy.
Many moons ago.
Many moons ago. Many Dothraki moons ago. Flamey gets 2. It's going to be Zeus that follows up. It's another complete stomp. All 5 stay alive on the NaVi side. We go 1-11. That's the rating on my dial, because mine goes to 11.
Yes, I noticed that earlier. I'm going to turn you down slightly, though, because...
You always do. You always do.
4 rifles here, 6 out with no armor to speak of. They have got a decent buy, though. It's going to be 3 and 4s. Down to the Famous, no defuse kit. That has been a problem for them. They actually bring it down to winnable situations. They have nothing to actually close the round out, and using that Molotov to push any AWPers off the upper ramp. And they will have full control of the inside area now. Looks like an inside execute. Could be on the cards. They've got all the smokes, the Molotov to flashbangs to work with as well. Usually smoking towards connector, smoke the lower ramp. Flash over. And get in there. Looks like we're about to go all in. There's Molotov on the bomb train as well. Happy and RPK pretty isolated here behind the smoke as well. RPK, decent idea there to get above the smoke, but unfortunately Edward 1 step ahead of the game. Takes him down, another 5-on-3 situation, and I think they're just saving already. This is an absolute nightmare. Inside execution prevails. EnVyUs, like we said, no kits into that round, and a 5-on-3 in a map like Train when you've lost your inside players, they've done absolutely nothing, not even a single point of damage inflicted. So, well, unfortunately, we do have to save, but not that much, it seems. Hadji, the last remaining player, he's from the NVIUs Academy, desperately picks up the AWP. But we do go 12-1, and the loss bonus, it won't really be there.
Did they teach Economy 101 at the Academy?
Why? What did you spot?
Well, no, I'm just curious because it's always a problem that NVIUs had. You know, you've been putting on clinics at various academies around the world.
We've been trying, yeah. Mykonos, we decided that Lurpus was going to be like the class assistant, and I'd be the professor, and like he'd be there.
He'd be the TA. The
like anyone, yeah, exactly. Anyone who's kind of like
right.
anyone who's like kind of falling behind in class, he'd be at the back, that's kind of helping them out, disciplining them as
Help me out, Lurpus.
Yeah,
giving them the old belt.
Well,
the strap.
Well, I'm not sure that's fine these days, but we'll see.
We
what
never said it with Orthodox.
Yeah.
We just said it would work.
Well, this is definitely looking like the 14-1, I'm afraid. It's going to be another eco. NVIUs have only had one really proper full bar, the double orbs and diffuse kids. It's just been an absolute nightmare for them. 5-on-3, CZ's out once again. This will be one of the quickest games in Pro League this season, I think, if it continues like this. 5-on-2, Happy and Scream, the last remaining players. As we'll have the last few seconds of this round. Happy and Scream try and do anything they can with CZ. The problem is, for next round, all they can really hope for, get an exit frag and take an AK, hopefully an AWP into the next round, and that'd be something. But before we get too excited about NaVi's former and outcompeted we saw yesterday, remember there is a slight caveat to this. Hadji is from the NVIUs Academy, and I can only really speculate. I'm not sure if we had an analyst as why he's playing, but I would say it would make sense to me that they're trying to try him out and bring him up to this sort of level, see how he holds his own, and maybe he could be replacing SMS, or it could just be a case of someone not being able to play this evening. I would say it's more likely the former, if I'm honest.
Well, thank you for your opinion on that, Hank. Yeah. I appreciate that.
Considering recent form and results, they have very good online results and qualifying results, and then they get to the actual LAN, and everything falls apart.
Well, this is online and qualifying, if you would, for the finals.
3 orbs T-side, just to know.
Yep, this is all for naught.
Maybe 4 orbs. Let's get 4.
Come on, Flamey, why can't you join in?
How am I supposed to analyze this one then?
You don't, Hank. You just take it at face value, and it is beautiful.
So we've got 6 orbs available on the server. Oh, goodness.
Get wrecked. One of the ops takes down the other op. That's how this round's going to go the entire time, as it tries to fire through the wall at yet another op. RPK, meanwhile, has Edward above. I have a feeling this could be a second round for Envy.
I think so as well.
Well, that said, Flamey found by Sixer. Having gotten Hadji immediately beforehand, they now realize there's still a number of ops in play.
Have the advantage yet. This 4-AWP setup didn't seem to really work out as NaVi had planned. Seized though at one point was the second fiddle to Guardian. See whether he can step up with the AWP. Yep, 6 over decent position towards Pop. That's almost a guaranteed frag surely on Zeus. Oh my god, he missed it. I thought he had the chance to take him down to spot the kneecap there. It's going to be Seized finding 1 kill, but 3 versus 2 now. Still have a chance for NaVi. This kill pretty much decides it. And it's going to be Zeus with the close range AWP. Takes him down, but RPK with the quick refrag. And Edward being relatively quiet this game. We'll get the plant in. Just about. And the 2 versus 1 begins. We need the 13-2 NVIUs. We're going to have some sort of game here. And there it is. Final frag comes in. Happy. He manages to pick it up. And I have to say, it's been not the most exciting first half of Counter-Strike we've ever seen. 2 rounds in the CT half pretty much is a death sentence, but win the pistol, and maybe we've got something to work with here. There's the defuse just to confirm. It will be 13-2. 4 AWPs in the final round of...
That's just taking the piss, as you would say.
Yeah, it really is. It's really difficult for me to analyze that one, and there's no real reason to do that apart from just being a little bit BM. But there we go, 13-2, and we'll see whether NVIUs can bounce back in the second half after this quick break.
Well, it seems to be a one-sided affair in multiple occasions tonight. This game, not the only one that's well and truly lopsided as NaVi leads EnVy 13-2. It's Fnatic that just beat Mousesports into a pulp.
Yeah.
I was going to say something different.
I knew you were.
16-1. Came close, caught myself.
Yeah, Mousesports have seemed to have dropped off the face of the planet since they won Mykonos. I don't think they've won a single map since that event has gone down. That's really disappointing. It looked like they were in amazing form. Well, not even amazing, a very, very good form at Mykonos, winning the event in a best-of-5 against Liquid to finish things off. And then it's just gone horribly wrong since then. And yes, we'll go back to this game. 13-2, NaVi with 4 orbs on the T side of a train to finish things off. That is not normal. That's not usual. And you hate to see it, and they deserve to lose that last round. And maybe we might get a game out of it because they've given EnVyUs an opening here. Just to know on that scoreboard as well. Opening. A very small opening. Just to know on that scoreboard as well. XMS is not playing, that's why his score didn't come up. It's Hadji from the EnVyUs Academy. I'm sure many of you are not aware that they even had an academy team, but they're actually pretty decent, very skilled little lineup. I've been playing in the Gfinity Elite series. I've cast them a few times. They're actually quite a cool little team, I would say.
Cool little team.
Quite skilled, and I think that's the idea of these academy teams. Bring up the talent, and then you spot which ones could potentially come to your main roster. And it's a free transfer. Money saved.
And it's true, actually. That's a great point. It is a free transfer. You already have them in the organization. Red Bull Toro Rosso.
Yes, that's exactly what I thought.
That's what I thought. I mean, you've got farm systems in every sport.
We're using that new crosshair as well that came in the update. I didn't even notice that. We're using the T crosshair.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. I like it. I always thought it would be an interesting way of doing things. I actually was an advocate for this crosshair years ago. Just kidding, I made that up. I used to use just a dot, though, for a while.
Yeah. A lot of people love the dot.
Does it kind of trigger you? Are you OCD? Do you miss the top part of the crosshair?
No, I used to play Quake, and you could do this, and it just reminds you of that.
It's in a couple of games. Tribes had it for one of the disc launchers. The spin fusers, I should say. What a game. What a game it was.
EnVyUs have got something to work with here, though. 5 on 3. Still their smoke, the Molotov. Pretty much all their utility they went into this round with. But simple. Oh, he's looking to recover the situation, but bested there. By Happy, that should be the round completed now. Zeus gets 1 frag, and he could get a couple more. Molotov's out of position, but they are going towards that side. Surely EnVyUs don't lose this round. It should be done.
Oh, Zeus drops the bomb carrier for a moment. They'll easily recover as they go by the E-box, but a snapshot high, and 6 are down. It's suddenly a 2 versus 2. Finally, they'll get Zeus as Hadji jumps above and beyond, but Flamey has the bomb. They never went back to get it. They took the fight instead, and Flamey can sit to babysit, but he has to back off. E-box instead as they cross amongst themselves and go to peek together on the right side. 16 seconds. Flamey, he's taking it down to just Hadji, and the young man, the young boy even, if you will, from the academy team, has to draw the affair on longer. He does at least get the bomb with ample time to plant, but Flamey will check the bomb site and know exactly where he's gone, but Hadji gets the pistol drawn again and ready for the affair, ready for the fight. He's tagged low. He's on 35, but Flamey's on 3. Hadji wins the exchange. Well done for the man standing in.
Bloody hell, that was a 5 on 2 map. It all went horribly wrong there, but Hadji, the young man, the boy, he said, managed to step up against Flamey. I'd say he got a little bit lucky towards the end there as well. Oof, Zeus, that was a nice little flick. The 1v1 where Flamey runs out of ammo, I think he was done for there. But we will see the force bite, and what's EnVyUs doing? Matt, can you explain this one to me?
They've bought a scout. Oh, an MV.
No.
Oh, sorry. Wow, the Mac Daddy strat.
What is this? This is not a thing.
This is a new thing, apparently. Maybe they like the Mac 10 in the recent meta.
I don't know what this
They're
is
against
about.
Head armor on 4. Simple's got a scout. Or sorry, on 3.
This is
Zeus
a horrible idea.
Mac 10. It's Mac Daddy.
I get that, but that's the one.
Do you remember Bernie Mac?
Yeah.
He would approve.
True. I'm just thinking, is this them thinking, well, it's over. 5 Mac 10s?
Watch, they're going to run around the corner, all shooting.
Like, I get it, you can fully execute and you can stick to 5-man unit, but against CZs on train?
Go, just rush him. That's when you need to, everyone just rush. Contact. Enemy spotted.
It's been a very bizarre game so far. 1 minute remaining, will be the inside execute. I guess the one benefit is you get all the utility, right? But really have that firepower, but Hadji doesn't mind. He's going to be taking in the first headshot. That's seized as well. And now that should be the round still, to be fair. It's going to be a little bit problematic, as you can see. Flamey with the Desert Eagle. Oh, goodness. Almost got another one there. Still a 2-on-2. And it's up to Simple now with a scout. Tags him up. Alley-oop with Edward. And it's going to be now just poor old Happy. Left in the 2 versus 1. Has got the bomb on his back. 30 seconds remain. It desperately runs towards outer. And he's hoping they maybe stay towards in. Molotov towards the connector, though. That's Heavy's vision given away. Plan's in a relatively safe position, but Edward's rushing him down, and oh my god, the 5-7 does punish him. And Matt, it's really difficult to analyse that one for you. It's very rare to see 5 MAC-10s after you win the pistol. And
you could be right. Just get it over with. I don't know. I don't understand that one either. Look, I really wanted to believe that it was going to be a new thing.
Like, sure, you get utility right, but you just need the standard. Even these days, on the CT side, you can sometimes get away with 5 UMPs because it has range, it has armor penetration, and you can go toe-to-toe with armored players. But the MAC-10 against armored CTs, it's just a pea shooter. It's really difficult to get kills against armored heads as well. It really didn't make sense to me. Like, you can get Galils out, and a couple of SMGs are required, but still, we have a chance to win this round. Apparently, it will be the force buy in return from EnVyUs to get the first couple of frags here. Another 5-on-3, but they have been throwing a lot of these this evening. We have got M4s out, Scout as well, and they're Simple doing some work with the aforementioned SMG. Looks like he wants to do a little bit more. Does get another headshot there. Edward starting to light them up with the Scout. Still within a shout of winning this round. 3-on-2, 1 low HP player as well in the form of RPK.
Rounding the corner, needs to quickly take down Happy. Does, makes it relatively easy. Hadji, meanwhile, is going to back off toward the E-box. He now sits in a 1 versus 2 with bomb still in hand, but only has information as to where one is. Do you know where the other one is, Hank?
I don't.
Well, let's just press control on your screen. Edward's coming through Z.
Well,
Z for Zebra.
Hadji again, if he can clutch out another round. Oh no.
I think he was... No, he wasn't. Edward didn't see him. He's a clever player. He's got nerves of steel for a man stepping in. Unfortunately. He's been sorted, but not... Well, he's been found, but not sorted, I should say. If I want to get that right. That is a way to sort it, though. Flamey puts NaVi on map point, 15-3.
Against the force play. That's another 5-on-3 map. They got the first 2 opening kills again, and it all goes horribly wrong. I think this map is obviously done. Here's the replay. We'll have a look as to...
Is it dusted?
We're not sure yet. Headshots plenty with the Desert Eagles and the 5-7s. Flamey to the previous round, I think, but still. Round number 4. Final force by potentially. We've got the all-power for Simple. Looks towards main entrance, and EnVyUs, I'm afraid, didn't really bring much to the table in the first map, at least. Nice headshot from screen. Once again, a 5-on-3. Are they able to convert this one into a victory? This is a little bit frustrating, I'm afraid, as an analyst right now. It's just DM. They're just running around and trying to frag each other and close it out.
Well, if it's a DM, Scream should win.
What she did, he got the opening kill.
See, I knew it. I knew that was what was going to happen. Because I am a genius.
There's no strategies right now. It's just them rushing each other at the start of the round and picking each other off.
Pistols are going to win this round, Hank. That's what I'm going to call. Do you agree?
I would say that EnVyUs have thrown every single 5-on-3 they've been in tonight. This was another one, so I'll say no.
No. Okay. Well, all that said, shot. Happy sneaks in behind Flamey. They have the advantage now because it's Simple. Although he has the AWP, is still sitting on 16. Edward somehow off the ladder gets a headshot on Happy that lets him into the sight, but Sixer hits a lovely shot from range. And Simple, the last alive. 15-3 might go 15-4, and it will. Pistols keep us alive for longer to keep you in agony, Hank.
There we go. It's going to be a round on the board for EnVyUs. 15-4 now. The Deagles do prevail. It was a 5-on-3, and finally to convert it in their favour. We'll be round number 5 here, and the forced buy, of course, from NaVi. Most teams will just take an eco here. Just try and close it out with the rifles. But they're going all in. And this game probably deserves it. That's been a bit of a interesting one, I would say. I won't say much more than that. Simple and Zeus push towards Ivy right now. Hadji waiting for him, though. The fresh meat of Team EnVyUs. See if he can hold them off. It's a difficult task. He seems struggling somewhat, but does manage to get the headshot there with Khalil. Needs to find another one here. Dinks him up and manages to get the frag as well. So nice work. 5-on-3 once again.
5-on-3 once again. Edward going aggressive with the deagle. Smoke down, but if he walks through it, which I have a feeling he will, somehow gets Hadji from inside of it, even though he was spotted. This is as good as mine. As Scream does get seized back, that'll open up the B site. Bomb goes in for the plant. They've already got a high side push coming in from RPK. It's just Edward, who they knew where he was and should still know where he is, if they're even talking to each other at all. Would you be talking to everyone right now?
I think he'd probably be laughing at this point. He's like, well, we gave it a good go, but going against NaVi with a mercenary last minute, which I can only assume was last minute, is not going to be that successful for them. I guess at this point, we discussed this yesterday, when you lose this badly, just get some rounds on the board, get warmed up, try and forget about the loss, and consider the next map. Hadji's actually top fragging, just a note. 15 kills, so not a bad showing for the Academy player at all. Managed to win the clutch and the pistol as well to actually get them in this game. There is another round of the board. EnVyUs slowly but surely getting back into it. Please, NaVi, don't force. Let's take it easy.
Did you break something?
I haven't moved.
Oh.
PD50's come out. Save Khalil of Edward. Another round for MV potentially here. Oh, it's actually potentially, almost certainly. 4 players rushing towards inner on the CT side, and they will have some confrontation as well. For the EnVyUs side, and good flashbangs as well. Edward tries to run away, being blocked by his teammates, but it's Scream who's found some outside control here. Zeus can hear him, and we'll try and take him down. Probably not quite. Got Dinkin, but couldn't quite find the aim to finish it off. And will be Edward now a chance with his Khalil to make something happen, and something does. It's going to be 2 frags for him. Flamey drops, but still something to work with here.
Something to work with. Simple drops down.
Ooh.
And fair enough. It's simple to take down Hadji. It's simple. Could be winning out the round for them with his 2 exchanges because he gets 6er, and that is that. They will pick up the game. NaVi, they'll go 16-5 after they defuse the bomb, which we won't get to see.
Yeah,
that's fine.
This was a little bit of a disappointing game. For me, as a color commentator, it's difficult to analyze a bit of a brawl like that. EnVyUs just looking very, very weak, and like we said yesterday, NaVi in pretty poor form right now. It's difficult to gauge whether they're getting better with this sort of result. Envy didn't really bring much of a fight in, and towards the end it's an absolute brawl, running and rushing each other, trying to outfrag each other, and it seemed like Envy had given up. But they had a couple of decent clutches, I guess. Simple looked very good as ever, so it's nice to see him in decent form, but prefer to take a break and see what the analysts thought about that interesting game.